Alright guys, so as you've seen in some of the recent clips, my car is stalls a lot, and it's because I'm running atmospheric blow-off valve, and I don't like that. I'm trying to make this thing more of a comfortable driver, daily driver type deal. So I need to fix that issue. So today I'm going to try and convert my little like eBay HKS deal, that guy. I'm going to try and convert that to run recirculated. I have my old one that I had from when I first did the turbo setup, and basically what I'm going to do is I just have like the front cap thing for it. This is actually part of a scooter. I just like flared out the end and sanded it all smooth, and it fits perfectly in there, and is like kind of sits flush in there, and I'm just gonna braze it in there with an aluminum brazing rod or whatever. So you can see that little gap. Should be a good little gap for this stuff to flow into, and hopefully stick itself in there. So I don't know, I'm gonna give it a shot. I've done this successfully a couple different times with like, that's what my wastegate reference is right there, and that's also what I have for the idle air control valve. That's how I did it, just with the brazing, or whatever you call these things. I know it's not really brazing, I don't think, but whatever it is, it's an aluminum rod. I'm just gonna use this here torch, get it hot, and melt it in. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Alright, so my first attempt was a complete failure. My second attempt was kind of a failure also. Well, it was a failure, but I was more on the right track. And then trial number 3, home run. I came up with this little guy. I basically just took ball peen hammers and kept stretching this out until it was the correct size of this guy. That little guy right there. And now basically what we have is that goes in there like so, and then this is just old blow-off valve for demonstration purposes. That goes over there like that, and then I can go ahead and throw a hose on there, and I don't know, seems like it's gonna work pretty good. I'm just gonna use this old radiator hose from I think it's, yeah, Volkswagen. More Volkswagen stuff. What do you know? It's all crusty on the inside from crappy freaking coolant system on the Volkswagen, and so I'm gonna have to spend some time trying to clean that out because I don't want any of that going to my intake. But my next step is I have to extend this piece here and weld a bung in right there, so I could put the blow-off valve right down there. So wish me luck, because so far things have taken too many tries, so I don't want this one to take like 3 tries. Alright, so I showed you guys the piece I made for blow-off valve. Now let me show you the other stuff I got. So basically I just, like I said, with the welding rod or brazing rod or whatever you want to call it, decided to just weld that little thingy on there, I guess. I don't know, seemed to work good. So now I just gotta connect this hose actually from there to there, and my blow-off valve will be recirculated. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and give it a shot. I think I'm gonna try this MAF one more time, but I don't know. I really want to, because it seemed to run better with it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go inside, sit down, and do a little research before I go and put that back on. And yeah, I don't know. I'll get back to that in a little while, I guess. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I recirculated the blow-off valve. I still haven't really driven the car too much. I went to go drive it like a day after that, and it was just completely out of gas. I got into the driveway and it started leaning out real hard, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's out of gas. So I put gas in it like yesterday or the day before, something like that, and just drove it around a little bit more, and it did seem to not stall nowhere near as much. I drove it for like 5-10 minutes, just like around the block a few times, and it stalled like once coming up to the stop sign instead of every single time I came to a stop or took it out of gear and stuff like that. So that's good. I definitely still think I need to drive it more and just like really make sure that everything's good. I didn't put the KA MAF back in. I've just been driving on the stock MAF just until I know it runs good with like the recirculation whatever, and then I'll probably go back and tinker with the KA MAF a different day or one of these days, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'll just show you, because I didn't really get a clip of it actually with the hose on and whatever, but it actually doesn't even look too bad. Came out pretty clean looking. Yeah, just the hose literally comes out and then goes straight down. I'm actually pretty happy with the way it lined up. And then besides that, I just been starting to kind of get to some of this body work or whatever here. Sand through this horrible paint. I got the most work done on the trunk. I popped the wing off and just started sanding through all this stuff, but there's so many layers of paint, it's like ridiculous. Like there's bare metal, then I'm pretty sure that gray is like the factory primer, then that black is the factory color, and then you can kind of see there's like 2 different colors after that. One just might be the factory clear coat, and then there's that color, and then there's another gray primer, and then there's another black. So there's like 1, 2, 3, clear coat, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7, actually if you look, 7, 8, like 8 fucking layers of paint right there. So there's so much to sand through to get this car paintable. You can see back in here like where it's like chipped through. That's basically kind of like what all these spots are. Like all these spots where I've gone down to bare metal basically was a chip, and I have to, if the chip's, you know, that size, I have to feather it out this big because there's so many layers of paint. It's ridiculous. And this has all been by hand so far. I don't have any like DA sanders or anything like that. I had one pneumatic one, but it broke, so I'm waiting. Like possibly today I might go ahead and go to Scary Freight and get just like an electronic one, because that was another thing. It's just like we don't have big enough compressor to consistently keep running the DA sander. So I want an electronic one, and then I could just kind of throw 50 grit or whatever on there and just attack this thing for like an hour straight. I did sand down the back where the badges were. Took the Nissan badge off, and where it said Sentra. I didn't want to leave those originally. That was my idea, but there's just so many layers of paint like built up around them. It would have been like impossible. Not impossible, but you can see here pretty I don't even know what this car's been through, but it's gonna take a while before this thing is like good. This I'm not super happy about. My windshield was leaking really bad one day, so my quick fix was just go ahead, grab a bunch of RTV and just gunk it up in there, which I haven't had it parked outside since, so I haven't really like, you know, had a chance to find out if it still leaks. But I don't know, that's the one spot, like this molding is just all messed up, so I don't know. So that's an update with basically the only other thing I've done besides the blow-off valve. That's probably gonna do it for now. Like I said, I might get a sander and do some more body work. I still gotta cut the strut bar out of my other shell and weld all that stuff in there. I will get around to that one of these days, but again, it's just been so freaking cold. I really don't like the cold, so I don't really get a lot done in the cold. and I haven't had money to go and get another can of propane, which this little kerosene heater, if you leave it on for like an hour or two in here, it'll get the temperature up, but when it's like the temperature's in like the 18s and stuff like that and like super low, it takes a long time for it to heat up. So that's when the propane kicks in, because that sucker, that tall one, is like 200,000 BTUs. It's for like construction sites and shit. So that thing in here, 10 minutes and you are gonna be in a t-shirt in here. So probably need to get some more propane before I start doing more work on this thing. At least major work. But yeah, so that's gonna do it. Probably one of the next videos is gonna be either more body work or cutting the strut tower out, or we'll see. You never know what could happen. So that's gonna do it. Go ahead, subscribe if you guys are new here, if you want to see more of this Sentra here, and I don't know, I'll see you guys next time.